it's important to invest also in your intellectual capacity. We've said this in one of our previous videos. So especially if you're in the skill or the service business, invest in these online courses, invest invest in that knowledge, because there's so many solutions or so many ways other people are doing things, and network with people. Nowadays you can connect through very many platforms. There are professional Facebook groups, we have LinkedIn, we have there's so many even professional people around us. So we're going to go to the next section where we're going to have 3 others, but for active, right? Active. Yeah, so we're going to start with real estate, right? It's my favorite topic. Yeah, that's my second love. So yeah, so I think for real estate, I don't know, it's wide. Real estate is wide. There are very many opportunities, especially as an investor, to tap into. And I would say maybe we can just mention a few and then we'll probably discuss a little bit about it. So we can say you can take it on. Take the lead. No! Because it's actually a conversation. Because I am okay with that, but the way you're so passionate about this real estate topic. It's because I love real estate, and I know both of us really want to own quite a number of properties. Invent that, yeah. So we can just start probably with the most basic one. Of course, in the active let's say active investment in real estate, it definitely means you're going to invest in the physical property. This is very different from the REITs. From the REITs, there is the physical property, but you're not actively involved in, you're not in contact. Yeah, you're not in contact with the physical property. You've just given a bit of your money to someone who is actually owning that property. But in this case, you're actually the owner. You actually have the title deeds and all the documents now to that property, Yeah, so I think that's the major difference between, let's say, the passive and active side of real estate. Maybe you can just let us know, one of the investments we can invest in. Yes. There is this arising, I feel it's an arising matter, or it's an arising matter in our generation, Airbnbs. Hey! Everyone is talking about Airbnb. It's like money market fund. I don't know if it is just between us because that is what almost everyone is doing, right? Yeah, I feel I don't know if you guys are always listening to Airbnb stories. It's when you're going to Kenya, where you're going to sleep, I'll look for an Airbnb. And sometimes we even forget that Airbnb is actually just a platform. It's a brand on it. But everyone has now everyone is relating it to a fully furnished apartment where you can go, have everything in place, and instead of a hotel, instead of the previous hotel rooms. Yeah. So when you say Airbnb, it's like the flask and the thermos, or Colgate. No, Colgate is even fun. Let's say Omo and Ariel gets me. Yeah, really Omo. It's always Omo, but maybe you refer to a different brand. And that is why it is good to be the first player in the market. Everyone will always attach exactly they do to your thing. Yeah. So you see, take it on. I think it just came into my mind and I was no, I have to say this. So Airbnb, I think it's a good way of that. If you have the solid cash, you can be able to invest in. Yeah. And it's just to have an agreement with your landlord. Yes. Maybe you have
your own rental place that you have actually purchased, or maybe you don't have that money to purchase that place, so you get to talk to your landlord, sign a contract, and just tell them that you will be owning this, you will be handling it as an Airbnb, just in case anything happens, they are in the loop. Because
I feel like let's use furnished apartments.
Okay.
But it's very easy for like everyone
People can relate with
Airbnb.
Okay, but anyways, okay. So furnished apartments.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's something that you can actually get to start, and the whole idea is you get an apartment, furnish the whole apartment, furnish with everything that you think people would be comfortable when they come there to stay, or something that you will just be comfortable when you are in that place. It's just like home.
Just
create
home away from home.
Exactly, create a home, and then be able to charge people either per night or per month, depending with the number of people that you get. And then the other good thing is that you can be able to market yourself on now, like on these Airbnb platforms
or Booking.com,
TripAdvisor.
There's another one I saw it yesterday. Get a Room. Yeah, I think there's so many new platforms that are coming. Yeah, you can now list your property in these platforms to actually get clients.
Yeah, and it's like it's not like free marketing, but it's more of like marketing in itself. Because definitely you have to pay agency fees.
And the agency fees.
But it's a good way, it's a good place to list yourself, and it's a bit easier to get clients because you can get national, international clients.
And then also the aspect that it comes with so much trust. When you're traveling, most people would go to these platforms. They would trust it more if your property has been listed in one of these platforms. It brings more trust to the guest who is coming to the place as compared to you just seeing me with a Facebook post, room or house for short-term rent in this and this place. You know, I don't know you. And at least for these platforms, the property has to have and met a particular criteria, and also like they have your details. So in case of anything, they're sure this guest and also you as the owner of the property, you're both secured. Yes. Yeah. So it is a good thing. It's a good thing. And I think just to add on that, they're basically for short-term rentals. So it's not something that probably you're coming and someone is booking for a year or 2 years. Like that's a totally different thing. You just go rent a house. What is it? Go rent a house. So basically, they're for short-term rentals, as Eda has said, per night, so a few days, a week, a month, a few months, So basically, that's the concept. And it's really, I think it's a booming business.
It is.
Another thing about these service apartments, I've seen some people whereby they now don't give the entire house completely. So let's say someone has a mansion and they have a guest section in their house, or they have like 4 other rooms in their house that they're not using. They sublet it to someone as well and then get income from them. And still, this person who is using that room is free to use the kitchen, is free to use all the other sections of the facilities. But it's just that the owner still lives there. It's not that they've given up the entire house. Yeah. So even if you have maybe a 2-bedroom house,
it's a good idea.
And then you have one nice room that is never used, you never get guests, maybe you don't have kids, it's always there. You can try and do this, but also be very cautious, because there are also there are people who are out here also just taking opportunity of every situation, and they're just causing chaos in all this. So be very cautious also with the people who are coming in the house. Make sure they've been vetted, make sure at least their documents, because we have these pretty bad cases happening. everyone's safety is paramount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, especially like the recent cases, it's been so bad.
Yeah.
And now you see that is the other side of now everyone is saying
con.
Airbnb.
Yeah,
Airbnb.
yeah.
It's not an Airbnb.
It is a furnished apartment. Yeah, even probably it wasn't. It's not listed.
Yeah.
So another thing I would say is, let me say, off-plan investments.
That's interesting. Let me listen to that.
It's actually the same concept with development rates. This is investing in a property that is not there. Like it's like you're investing in air, but you're waiting. It's like you're seeing the property being built. I'm so sure, like over the recent past, especially for Kenya, there have been these issues where someone gets duped and someone gets scammed, and sometimes probably maybe someone is not scammed, maybe people just embezzled the funds and were unable to deliver a project. But I would say it's a very good investment option, especially when you're not also in a position to get the entire amount first immediately. Because in this situation, you will sign, maybe it's a let me just explain first of all what off-plan investments are. So basically, an off-plan property is a property that has not yet been developed. So it can be an apartment, it can be just a single dwelling unit, but you're buying it without seeing it. And then you've understood it, right? So whoever you're giving the money to, let's say this development company or this real estate firm, is going to use these funds from these different people who are actually buying a property. Let's use, for instance, an apartment. There's a block of apartments and then it has, let's say, 10 floors. You've sold maybe half of it to people. There's this deposit that you need to pay before you get a sale agreement from this to be legally binded by a contract, So from these amounts that people get, these companies accumulate, and probably also from their own funds and maybe from loans, they start developing a property. So you just know, me as Eda, I bought unit number 1 on the second floor of this block of apartments. But they're actually not built. And then while they are being built, there are these milestones in every stage. You as the investor needs to keep topping up to the point that now by the time the property is done and you're being handed the keys, you'll now be completing the last installment. By the time you're now completing the last installment, ideally you should be now getting the key to the property, all your documentation, and all the documentation. Right now, initially there used to be a sectional properties. It's like you just have some leases, but right now, at least in Kenya, you can actually have a title deed for that your apartment as an individual. So you get all these documents, but it starts from a point of not seeing the property and gradually just topping up slowly as this side is continuing, like you see. And the beauty of it is that you can get things to your own customization. You also have time to pay the money slowly without pressure, because definitely the company or the developers won't pressure you to pay the money and they've not gotten to the other milestone. That's the beauty about it.
Yeah, I think I have seen also, I don't know who, I think there is an influencer in Kenya who used to advertise that, because I think she had bought also such, but I was wondering, what do you mean? Like, how do you even purchase, how do you purchase a house that you have not even seen? Because she was going to the site and seeing the progress, because they normally put the billboards outside of how the end result of the whole apartment will look like. But I was like, how is this even possible? But I think because what I listened to her saying is that just the problem is just the initial deposit, because there's the lump sum amount.
Yes.
But if you're in a position to do that, I think that is a good way. That is a good way to actually save up and have own an apartment in Kenya without so much pressure.
Yes.
Because the whole entire time that they will use to maybe develop that place, it is not like 1 year. It maybe can be like 1.5, 2 years.
And then sometimes there are these big projects, so it's not even just maybe one apartment.
Yes,
it's a whole lot. I don't know, phase one, phase what, and then like they're fully serviced, a fully serviced gated community. So it might also take a while. By the time all these things get done, it's quite a while,
It's probably like a place, an investment where you want to save to own in the future. And I think it is a good thing, especially if it is in a good location, and maybe it is not, that location is not very much developed, but there is some contingency that it will develop in future. I think it is a good plan.
And then the good thing is, you see the aspect of also capital gain comes in here. Because you can imagine the amount of money you probably invested in now getting the property. Because you buying that property right now, by the time it's done, it would be, I don't know, it's going to go back now to the market value. Let's say, for instance, you have a property right now, it's an off-plan property. It doesn't have documents, it doesn't have any of those things. It's just the groundwork. You would find right now maybe that property, let's say for apartments, maybe they're selling at 5 million. And then when just they start, maybe the area, they plus the fence, with every improvement in the site, a certain amount is added to the amount. But for you who bought it at the beginning with a sales agreement, your amount remains that. So you find by the time they're getting done with all the finishes, with the painting, and then now handing over to now like the project owners, the developer handing over to the project owners, you would find you had bought the apartment at 5 million. Right now the project owners are selling that same finished apartment at something like 8 million. If you would have bought at that point, at that 8 million, you wouldn't have had this debt. So you can imagine at 5 million, when it's at 8 million, maybe once it's done, you can decide, I don't even want this apartment. I want to sell it. And then you're selling it at 8 million or at 7 million, and then you have this a gain or a profit from the capital, and that's the beauty of it. The only challenge about it is now trust from, first of all, trust from individuals, because there have been so many situations where people have not gotten their projects delivered after having invested so much money.
You can imagine. You spend like more than 5 million, and then
someone tells you, there's a way.
What do you mean
there's a way? It's like it works like this and like that.
What do you mean?
So
my money.
And the problem is now there is always not that money, So just go and
proceed.
Now also you see, like that's the problem. Like sometimes the problem with it, but if you do your due diligence, it is a very good investment, and it is something that you can really get good capital gains in it.
You know what I'm thinking? Because I know you, and I know you like real estate. Why don't you start this off plan? Because I know you won't scam me. So
I started off. I have good leads of companies that have actually delivered. Starting an offline investment, it just doesn't mean that you're waking up and then you're like, today I feel like
starting to develop for you. I am manifesting for you.
Amen. And we will get there. But I have a number of companies that I know they've actually delivered. And when you're doing your due diligence, if you're looking, there are these companies that are very good and they're very stable, and they have good investments already, properties that they're selling, but they've not tried off plan. Please look for a company that has a track record of off plan properties. It's like you want to go, you want advice from a doctor who deals with teeth, right? But instead of going to that doctor who is dealing with teeth, you're going to a doctor maybe who deals with the eyes. You see,
To treat your teeth.
To treat your teeth. You see, this eye doctor doesn't have a track record of the teeth. I think you get the analogy, right?
Yeah.
So try to get. It can be a very good company, but they're very well versed with these already developed properties, but have not tried off plan. Please, I am not saying they might not deliver, but look for a company that has actually done off-plan developments and delivered them before investing. Because there are so many people who are gaining from this off-plan development, but there are also so many people who are losing out of, all this. And sometimes it's not like someone even wanted the project to fail. Just the time value of money and also just management. You can imagine at the start of the project, maybe you approximated the development to take, let's say, 50,000. By the time it's getting to year 2, year 3, life has happened, inflation is out of the roof, like
the government
has taken, like there's so many things that go around there. I don't know, the cost of material has skyrocketed, there's so many things that would affect that initial cost of 50,000. And going back to now Eda and telling her, now we had told you it's 5 million, but can you add something? It is hard, Yeah. So that's where you find maybe there's an imbalance and then there's a delay of the project, or the project never gets delivered at all, but it got started,
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't want to invest 5 million in somebody that I have not seen.
Yes.
And especially if it is property, I need to see that you have done.
Yeah, you need to see that you have done.
Well, I'm just thinking, what about these people who are just starting out? Does it mean that we don't put our trust in them and just develop them?
No, you can, but make sure you've done your due diligence. At least, especially for agents, at least look at whether they are, what is it called? They are registered agents. Because there's a problem when you're dealing with an unregistered agent. If anything happens, you cannot send them to anybody.
Yeah.
At least, but if they're within a community or a professional body that they can actually be called to book, they're guided by a specific code of conduct, it's very much easier to deal with such a situation. And even if it's for a starting firm, there are these starting firms, yes, but they're not doing so big projects. Maybe they've taken up maybe just 2 off-plan projects, and maybe it's on a small scale. Maybe they're just doing 1 block of apartments, and they've done it before. It is okay to invest in them, but just in land, do your groundwork, do your due diligence. I can't insist on this enough. Make sure you've just done all the groundwork, so as not to be in a position where probably you get duped or disappointed. And investing in real estate or real property means that you're parting with huge sums of money. So you don't want to be disappointed later on, realizing, they built in someone else's property or
someone else's land.
It's no longer your property, or in areas where they're not authorized, so they have to be demolished. So just do your due diligence to be safe.
I have just remembered what happened in Kenya. The riparian land issues.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you can imagine such a thing happening to you. I think also looking the specific area that they are building.
Yeah.
Even in your own sane mind, would you as an individual invest in that?
Yeah,
so
true. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Then I think that was very informative, and I think I've learned as well on that because I had just known it, but I had not known the name. And I think it's important to name things.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. So I think we can go on to the next.
Yes.
And it's an area that I love.
Yeah, I even wanted to say it's like take it up because it's an area you're passionate about.
Yeah. So and it is about consultancy and using our skills to make money.
Yes.
You can imagine working from home and still earning from it, and it's something that you are passionate and you actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So this is about starting a consultancy, and it is based on a skill that inherently you know that you are good in that.
Yes.
So let me say, for example, I'm good with people. I'll just speak for myself. I'm good with people, and I want to venture into maybe, let's say, life coaching, and I have done the work in terms of reading, even if it is not something that I went to school about. I first of all, inherently, I feel like I am passionate about it, and I have a purpose for it, and I feel that I have the impact that I know I can be able to create to the world. And I know that maybe that is a specific area that people are maybe struggling with, and I can be able to offer my services.
Yes.
So why not read more about it, be more aware about it, and help people? And even in the process of helping people, if I am able to get money out of it, then it is a really good place to be in. So I think first of all, starting a consultancy would mean that you have the knowledge. Number one, that is the most important thing. You also don't want to be a quack in whatever that you are doing.
I had forgotten that word.
You don't want to be a quack in whatever that you are doing.
True.
And also, it's like your personal brand can be damaged because of doing such malicious things, and you just want to get money out of it. So number one, first of all, gain knowledge, gain wide amount of knowledge in the specific area that you are doing. And if you are in a position to maybe just do it for free without being paid for it,
like create the value first.
Create the value. Yes, that is the word.
Create the value. Let people see like what are you actually giving it? Like how are you giving yourself in terms of this service? Are you really helping? And then someone would be like, if I can actually get this for free, what more can I get if actually I invest in this person as my coach? Something like that.
So create the value. And I think that is where it all begins. People cannot just trust you. And also, like, in the process of creating the value, you are also gaining the experience yourself.
Yes, exactly.
And you are learning and unlearning so many things, and even get to deal with now clients firsthand. That even if it is free, yes, they are clients, but it's a win-win situation for both of you.
And then just to add on what you said, actually that's very true. If also you are also in a position to be in that moment, they normally say be your best customer. This happens mostly when it comes to the product section, and I feel like also it's very, very important in consultancy or in the service business or investment, whereby you feel like you probably have actually gone through this particular experience.
Exactly.
You know the patterns of this particular experience. Let's say, for instance, if someone is, let's say, an architect, you actually have experience, and it comes from gain the knowledge and then at least have those practical experience. You are in it, you're in that field. If you're practicing in it, it is much easier for you to tell people, to explain to people, or to even convince clients or investors, because you have the knowledge of what's going on in the ground. There's something that you can read from a book, but probably it's not the ideal situation. It gives you just a bearing to start on, because the ideal situation is out there and it's probably different, you'll have, it's like a sensitivity analysis. You add some parameters, some variables, you see where the balance will be, right? Yeah, so that's the same situation. If you can be in it, or you have the experience, or you're in the practice itself, it gives you a good bearing. And I think it's a good thing you're in it.
Yeah. And also the other thing is, I was just speaking about maybe giving free services. The other option is maybe looking for people that you can, maybe companies that you can be able to intern with if you are just starting out, if it is a new area. Look for people that you can talk to, maybe mentors, or even if it is not mentors, people who are already doing this specific thing, so that you get to know the know-how, the know-whats, and everything that is involved there.
Yeah.
And so once we have amassed this knowledge, we need to know how to brand ourselves and present ourselves to the people.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't want to buy, maybe if maybe you're in real estate, you wouldn't want maybe your QS or your architect to be just looking anyhow, because now they are in that construction industry.
But there's some works where you don't have to look anyhow, but
you see, if I'm coming to your agency as an architect, I want to be dealing with somebody who is well polished, and they look like they know what they are saying,
true.
So if I come and you're in the office, but you're looking like as if you are in the construction itself,
true.
It's different. So I think it's one thing to know your skill. It is another thing to present it to the world.
Yeah, true. And I think just to top on it, we can also say it's important to invest also in your intellectual capacity. We've said this in one of our previous videos. So especially if you're in the skill or the service business, invest in these online courses, invest in invest in that knowledge, because there's so many solutions or so many ways other people are doing things, and network with people. Nowadays you can connect through very many platforms. There are professional Facebook groups, we have LinkedIn, we have there's so many even professional
people around
platforms
us that
even
we
people around
don't
us
even know.
And
help.
And then you get to share ideas, and you can actually improve.
So I had something else in my mind. I don't know why it's leaving, but it's okay.
Then if once you remember, even through the conversation, you'll just say it. So on to our last investment, active investment. We are on the active investment. So this is basically some of us refer to it as local entrepreneurship. It can start as a local business, and then you can scale it up. You can scale it up later on, right?
Why I'm laughing. Okay, I just remember the conversation that you were talking about our previous experiences on entrepreneurship.
Oh my!
That is a whole video.
Yes, the things we've done, we've tried. Anyway, so local entrepreneurship, and I think this is what we've done for the longest.
Hey, we've been there, done it.
We've done it. One of these days, we will even have receipts, evidence of the struggles, the photos, please. Anyway, so local entrepreneurship, basically, this is probably just having a skill or an idea and then starting out. Probably you're good in plaiting people's hair, or you're good in cooking, and then you just open up a restaurant, a small restaurant. It can be a small restaurant, and later on you can decide to now have these different menus and scale it up slowly by slowly. So basically, this is always just you just look at a market gap, and then you start from there and scale it up. A good example is I would say for one of the businesses I started with a friend of mine. The idea just came from a pain point I was facing. We're normally told, look at the pain points of the clients, of of the people around you. So it was a pain point I was facing. I wanted to decorate my house, but the decor was too expensive. You just know where we do. So you're going to that to where we get these fabrics and this deco item, and it's very expensive. But deep within, I was so sure if I can, like for me, I'm a business minded person.
Yeah.
Like deep within, I knew if I can get the fabric, sewing them is going to be cheap. I don't know how to sew. I don't know where the fabrics are. I just know that there's a problem.
I need a solution.
I need to decorate my house. Yes, but this thing is too expensive. I'm not in a position to get all these deco items once, right?
Yeah.
I've gotten where the fabric is. The fabric is very, very, very much affordable. From the fabric, sewing it, there's a tailor. I can coordinate all these activities and come up with a full, let's say, pillow or a curtain or just something.
Yeah.
And from this, we just started a business as a joke while still while still finishing campus as a joke, And I realized it really was solving so many problems because, like, right now for us, instead of selling it at that very high price, we just made it to we tried to make sure it has a profitable margin and it's within an acceptable range of pricing, you see. And this really was solving so many pain points because I'm like,
good quality.
It's actually the same quality as the other one. It's just that they know finding just that place where to get the fabrics, most clients don't know because you would walk around and you won't see those type of fabrics. But once you get to know where you can get them,
that's it.
Yeah, so they were taking advantage of ignorance from clients, so someone opts just to buy them because they feel
business.
That's business. Opportunity is opportunity.
Exactly.
So basically, that's local entrepreneurship. I don't know. You also had a story about your local entrepreneurship.
Yeah, but that is a whole
different video. Yeah. So basically, I think that's it. I don't know
and
for you.
Something else that I would want to add is that it's easier to begin, but now maintaining it, like being sustainable in the whole process, is what will determine whether you will end up as maybe me who didn't continue with that venture, but I realized something good for me that is now better for me, and even something that I enjoy doing. Like it's one thing to identify because maybe that can be a problem right now, but it's not a problem 2 years from now. So what do you do? So first of all, it's good to try out different things.
Yes, very
try. I think that is just the best way of learning.
Yes.
You try, you fail, you try, you fail, and then you try again, now you succeed.
Yeah.
We have had so many
different parameters. Yeah.
Yes. We've had so many success stories of entrepreneurs, and definitely that is one thing that they all say. They have failed as many times, but even with the failings, they learned and then they got the solutions to their problems.
Yeah, and they kept going back at it. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, just doing the same thing, Yeah.
And also in the process, you will actually you will fall into what is suitable for you.
Yes. Yes.
there is no way you can just be in that journey without getting something good in the long run.
And then you realize that in this whole journey, you get to be developed in very many aspects in life, other than just the entrepreneurial capacity or your business or financial mentorship. You also get to learn how to deal with different peoples, to network, to connect with different individuals in the industry. You also improve your mindset because you're meeting with different maybe investors or business-minded people,
Communication,
confidence.
Like there are so many unseen things that you just feel them. You actually, once you get maybe a bigger situation, you're like, I did it well, and it was actually because of that. Maybe baking that you started, talking to clients that actually helped.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think it has been I feel like it's been a long discussion, but it was necessary and very informative. Yeah, maybe we can do later on. Now, in-depthly specific, maybe now we take investment, let's say money market funds or shares.
Local
Entrepreneurship. We just discuss in-depthly also, like we would maybe come up with such segments to ensure that we make it as informative as possible and break it down to bring it home to a point where we can all resonate with it.
And if it is also something that you actually want us to do, please let us know, because that is how we get to know what exactly you guys want to hear from us. What challenges are you facing that you would want us to address, maybe based on our experiences, and looking forward to also the experts that we'll be bringing on board. So those kind of feedback is what we need in the comment section. And I think we can end it there.
Yeah, let's end it there. Until next time. Oh, just not to forget, as Eda says, subscribing is free.
It's free now.
It's free. Make sure you subscribe and then you share with your friends and families, so as to ensure that at least we bring change to society and we build each other up.
Yes.
So until next time.
Bye-bye.